Nobody asked for this. What people did ask for was for Kim Kardashian and KKW Beauty to bring back the lipsticks and the lip liners, but instead we got 9 pieces of whatever the fuck is going on here. Another Kardashian brand. So Kim Kardashian has launched Skkn by Kim. Sorry, it's not Skin, it's Skkn. Skkn. She's launched Skkn by Kim, and it's 9 steps of very expensive products. And I've got fucking questions. Very interesting questions, such as, why did the esthetician that Kim partnered with say not to use sunscreen indoors? Very interesting questions, such as, how is this different from Kylie's skin? Especially if they're made by some of the same people working at some of the same places. And just fucking why? You know what? I can tell you why. Money. So this launches June 21st, and it appears to be a 9-step system that costs around $600, even though they're saying it's so much more affordable than other luxury brands. I have a lot of questions and a lot of caffeine hitting my adenosine receptors, and I am Sassy Cassie, your resident medical esthetician, skincare big sister person that doesn't fucking understand why we need another Kardashian beauty brand. But I actually want to get into what's going on with this refillable packaging. That actually seems kind of cool. What's going on with ingredients such as acids, which actually seem nice, but at the same time, Kim Kardashian has psoriasis. So is there going to be any fragrance in this line that irritates her skin? And why, if this is a skincare line launch, why does she have so much makeup on in all of the promotional photos? Like, fucking make it make sense. On Instagram, Kim explains why she wanted to launch Skkn by Kim, and I, as well as the commenters, want to understand, why does it look like furniture? Why does it look like she ripped off Desi's skin? Is this influenced by Kanye? And just in general, like, what the fuck is going on?
I am so excited to tell you guys all about Skkn by Kim. I think my mission in launching Skkn is just that I really have always been this girl that loves to share my tips and my tricks with people. I feel like it's so selfish to not share information. What I've always been really into, and what I've always loved, and what I really feel like my brand is taking things that I've learned along the way, whether it's been from top facialists or chemists or dermatologists, and giving you guys my secrets that I've learned, like I would give my sisters. So I feel like this is my years of experience and facials and dermatologist appointments all in these bottles.
No, it's not years of facials and dermatologists in these bottles. It's years of facials, PRP, Botox, augmentation, top Beverly Hills plastic surgeons and dermatologists on your face. Not in a product for $90. It's literally on your face. Ugh. Kim explains why she was inspired to create this line. I'll tell you why she wants to create this line. Money. And because her sister did it, okay? Hear me out. This is literally classic sibling rivalry 101 of, my little sister Kylie made a skincare line and it went really well and she sold her beauty company and pretended to be a billionaire, and the fact that she's younger than me and she did it is just not fair, so now it's my turn. And trust me, I am saying this as a big sister who's been through it. My little brother learned how to ride a bike without training wheels before I did, and I saw him zooming around with his little Spider-Man helmet with no training wheels, and I was like, oh, fuck that. I can ride a bike without training wheels too. There's no way my little brother can do something that I can't. So I get on my bike, I start pedaling, I'm like, wow, I'm going so fast, I don't need training wheels. Yeah, I hit a fire hydrant and I ate shit. And I didn't bike ride for like the next 2 years. I know it because I've been there. This is literally sibling rivalry. Kim saw Kylie do it. She's like, that's not fair, it's my turn. And of course, Momager Jenner is just behind the scenes, you know, with all of the strings basically saying, do this, honey, do this. You know, she's literally referred to her daughter and her family as chess pawns, and she sees life and business as a game of chess. So she's making her moves. And again, those are the 3 reasons. Oh, and there's a 4th reason. Money.
Revenue enhancement.
Let's dig into this line, what they are promising, what they are charging surface level, and let's actually dig a little bit deeper into who is making this brand. What affiliation do they have with Kylie Skin and with Cody. And although I am sassy and caffeinated, I always want to give credit where credit is due. And the fact that they're focusing on some sustainability efforts is actually quite interesting. But in my head, I'm like, do you actually care about sustainability? Or did you just see that Fenty Skin by Riri really took off and you basically want to capitalize on that success and then still go party during COVID on your private island? Yeah, make it make sense. The New York Times wrote an article saying that Kim Kardashian's new line is not for quitters, and it's not for broke people either. She's saying that this is her daily routine, that this has transformed her skin. First off, no. I'm calling it as I see it, and it's the doctors and the dermatologists, and don't just take that from me. The doctors and the dermatologists that I know, love, and trust also say it and see it. All right, and we're just calling it as it is.
Gotta go. Call me when you want to be honest.
But let's continue, because Kim Kardashian admits that she would eat poop if it would make her look younger. Yes. The New York Times states that as of now, excrement is not on the ingredients list of the new skincare line, Skkn by Kim, but there are some other interesting ingredients. We're talking about hyaluronic acid, we're talking about vitamin C, we're talking about a couple of different acids and shea butter. And the shea butter gets very interesting specifically because of who Kim has publicly partnered with to make this skincare line happen. And the New York Times asks a really great question that's on my mind as well. They said, why does the woman who brought the concept of contouring to the world want to start with skincare? Simple. Miss Kardashian wants to show off the tone and texture of her own skin. Up close, it's something to behold. Glowing, hydrated, and smooth. Now, glowing, hydrated, and smooth she is. I mean, just look at these beautiful campaign photos. But then, when we look at the beautiful campaign photos, we realize this is a bunch of makeup and Photoshop. If you're trying to show off your skin, why not just show us your skin then? All I'm seeing is makeup and enhancements, and again, gorgeous. Undeniably. But this goes back to this cycle of the beauty industry where we are sold this look, told we have to be like this and use these products to get there. But this is not the result of the products, this is the result of so much else. Same with Kylie's lip kits. Same with even just the Kardashian shape of the body. We've spoken about how bodies and plastic surgery is kind of becoming a trend, and how you can literally take away the face from Kim Kardashian, and if you just look at her figure, that in itself is like a logo or an icon. And love it or hate it, that has a lot of power. Yes, that means power in business and in identity, but it also means power over our minds and our mental health and what we see as beautiful when we consume this kind of media on a regular basis. But outside of the makeup and outside of the Photoshop, what is in this 9-step beauty routine that is so revolutionary? Because I would really like to know. The New York Times continues that despite being late to the zillion step regimens popularized by Korean skincare brands, Ms. Kardashian is hawking a lengthy routine. Her 9-step system, quote, might seem scary to some, she said, but that's why I'm here, to break it down, to be like, they're all necessary. No, Kim, they are not all necessary. Literally all you need is a sunscreen and a cleanser. And yes, you can add other things on top of it, exfoliants, masks, treatment steps, etc. But literally all you need is a sunscreen and a cleanser. And this line doesn't even have a sunscreen. And again, foreshadowing, the person that she's partnering with on this line literally doesn't believe in using sunscreen indoors. Ugh. I don't understand why all of these steps are necessary, which is why I want to dig more into the ingredients, and I will give credit where credit is due. On first impressions, the ingredients don't look bad. The question is, are they worth the $60 to $90 that people are going to be charged for them? The hyaluronic acid and night oil are $90 and $95, and that does remind me quite a bit of a very overpriced dermatologist line sold at Sephora that has the most basic hyaluronic acid. I'm very interested to see this ingredients list. But the entire 9 steps consists of a cleanser, a toner, an exfoliator, a hyaluronic acid serum, a vitamin C serum, a face cream, an eye cream, oil drops, and a night oil. Total comes to $630 without tax. And again, I thought like literally a couple of months ago, Kim Kardashian was talking about how great Kylie's skin was and how she loves to use Kylie's skin. Like what the fuck is going on here? Is it Kylie's skin? Or is it the $630 set of creams and potions and night oils with no sunscreen? I'm dying inside today, if you can't tell. Like I'm actually, I'm going through it. Ms. Kardashian is not terribly concerned about people not being able to afford her skincare. And again, coming from like a billionaire family, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it kind of just solidifies how out of touch things are right here. And seeing all of these as a necessity, this sounds more like a cash grab than a necessity to me. Now, she is claiming that it's because of the people that she's partnered with and the high quality ingredients that she's using to create this line that makes them so amazing. And I do want to do a deep dive of the ingredients, but in order to do that, I had to find out who's working on this, where is it manufactured, how is it being made, because shocker, it doesn't look like it's private labeled, and also what forms of vitamin C are we using, because the esthetician that she partnered with, who has ties to La Mer and Dior and lots of luxury beauty, had some very interesting influences that I believe are happening inside of this skincare. But the question is, does that make it worth the price? Joanna Czech has been an esthetician for over 35 years, and she's worked heavily in the luxury areas. Before she launched her own skincare line that literally looks like a luxury pillow, she used to work as La Mer's global skincare advisor. Yes, that La Mer that charges $400 for a cream of Nivea plus seaweed that was given an LED light show that they contacted a physicist like with a psycho medium Ouija board to get the secret magical formula for before they shipped it across the country on a truck. That La Mer. Yeah. She is also not just an esthetician, but she's kind of a master when it comes to marketing, and she seems to know what she's talking about with ingredients. Now, not all of them, but some. And again, having different opinions is okay, but the fact that she's worked on these advertising campaigns for Givenchy, Dior, and yes, literally at La Mer, she knows a thing or two about how to sell overpriced goop in creams. And I say goop not in the Gwyneth Paltrow sense, but in the, you know, the new goops that the Kardashians are coming out with. We should call it coop, like goop, but with a k. I feel like the Kardashians bought the letter K. Like, that's not fair! You can't take that letter! K's aside, Joanna Czech surprisingly does not have a K in her name, but she does have quite a bit of experience. Now, what's interesting about how Kim speaks about her line is that she's saying that Joanna taught her a lot about ingredients and molecular sizes. And it's true, you have to have the right molecular size of an ingredient in order for it to penetrate through the skin. If we go back to anatomy and biology, we remember that the skin is literally a barrier. It is literally to keep other things out and to keep us in. So when we want things to penetrate it, it can actually be very difficult to get those ingredients through the skin and not only into the skin, but into the cell where they need to be. I don't know exactly what happened in those conversations, but it sounds like Kim was able to learn from Joanna about the different forms of vitamin C. And when we speak about forms of vitamin C, this is where it also gets interesting and why I question if $90-something for one of these products might actually, surprisingly, shockingly, potentially, maybe be worth it. When we look at Joanna Czech's skincare line, it does have some similar ingredients to this new Skkn by Kim Kardashian. It's got shea butter that she actually says comes from a specific manufacturer in West Africa. I wonder if Kim is using the same one. It's got many different oils such as squalane, hemp, sunflower, marula oil, etc., which again, Kim's new line literally has 2 different forms of facial oils. And Joanna's line has 6 different forms of vitamin C, one of those hero forms being tetrahexadecyl ascorbate. And this is one of the forms of vitamin C that is oil soluble that I actually agree is phenomenal. This is one of the most expensive skincare products I've ever bought. It's like $160. It goes on sale for $130, but this is a CCC ferulic vitamin C ester. This is a brightening complex from Perricone MD, who's an actual MD, an actual doctor, and this product does have tetrahexadecyl ascorbate. It's very expensive, it's very difficult to formulate with, but it does do an amazing job at brightening the skin and actually penetrating into the skin and into the cells closer to the nucleus where it actually needs to be. Now, there are other tetrahexadecyl ascorbates out there. Specifically, another great one is from Allies of Skin. This is the vitamin C collagen rebuilding serum, but even this one is $130. The least expensive one that I can think of off the top of my head is from Sunday Riley. It's like $80 or something, but I don't like a lot of Sunday Riley products. They're very fragranced. There was a debacle with them basically lying to and ripping off acne sufferers, which just wounds me in my open blemish wounds because I'm sensitive. I forgive, but I never forget. However, the ingredient lists on these products is not very forgiving either. They literally do what they say they will. And although I love these, they're very expensive. And if Joanna is saying that tetrahexadecyl ascorbate is so amazing, and if Kim is putting that in her line, again, we don't have confirmation yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to be tetrahexadecyl ascorbate. If they're doing that for like under $90, I have to call it as I see it. that would be a very good price for a very good ingredient. But even if one product is phenomenal, some of the other ones kind of look like cash grabs.
Revenue enhancement.
I don't understand why we need 2 different night oils. What are in these? How do they work together? Why not just use one? I really don't fucking understand why we need an eye cream. I am truly excited and impatient and cannot wait to look at the ingredients of this and compare the ingredients of the eye cream to the ingredients of the facial moisturizer. But I would not be surprised if they have a very similar base formula, meaning the same base ingredients, and then they tweaked 1 or 2 things, and again, they're just putting it in a tiny tube and selling it to you for tons and tons more money.
Revenue enhancement.
And especially with the exfoliator, Kim does admit that you don't exactly need that one, but I also wonder, as someone with psoriasis, how do these 9 steps work for her and her skin? Psoriasis is a very interesting skin condition, and I am not here to comment on Kim's skin condition, but I am here to educate and to have a discussion around psoriasis, and specifically how it falls in line with this line. If you actually look at histology slides of psoriasis, basically you're like taking a microscopic view of the skin actually looks like almost like a hair comb. It's truly beautiful, but for the people who struggle with it, it can be very painful. Psoriasis often happens in these psoriasis plaques. They can be pink, they can be scaly, they can be very painful, and they can even ooze or weep or sometimes itch. And a lot of people tend to get it kind of by the ears and the scalp, and you can have sebopsoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis, which is kind of like a dandruff plus psoriasis, and it can be very, very painful for some people. And a lot of people think of psoriasis as just a skin condition, but it can actually impact your nails, it can actually impact your joints, basically the bones of your body, and it can be overall a very debilitating condition depending on how severe it is. And there are many medications that can be used for it. Usually most people get psoriasis treated with medical options and prescriptions like corticosteroids, but there are some things over the counter that work. Most doctors and derms recommend keeping psoriasis hydrated. We're talking Vaseline, Aquaphor, just like the thick petrolatum jelly. This, what Kim is promoting, is much more expensive than like Vaseline or Aquaphor, but I would be interested to see if they have petrolatum jelly or petroleum in Kim's products, because remember, petrolatum jelly and petroleum jelly is literally what is in Vaseline, but it's also what's in La Mer. And remember, Joanna worked for La Mer, helping create this. It's great for psoriasis. Kim has psoriasis. I don't know. I would be very interested to see if there is some overpriced petroleum in one of these $60 to $90 moisturizers. Psoriasis can also do relatively well with certain acids if used appropriately. You know, psoriasis kind of has this flaky skin, and that's why steroids work for it, because it slows down the flaking. But those acids can exfoliate off some of those flakes. And seeing as that there are acids in some of these products, I could actually see that being quite beneficial. Vitamin C also has been shown to be very helpful for psoriasis, but the medical research that I'm aware of talks about oral vitamin C. So taking vitamin C orally, not just putting it on topically. So I don't exactly know how that all plays in, but seeing as these psoriasis plaques are literally a damaged skin barrier, people with psoriasis want to avoid any forms of dyes, any forms of fragrances, whether it's artificial or natural fragrance. You do not want any irritants near there. And I would be very interested to see if Skkn by Kim has any of these fragrances or dyes or colors, because Kylie's skin sure did. Now I do want to stress that this furniture concrete ball sculpture looking Skkn care line by Kim Kardashian does not claim to be psoriasis care. I want to make that very clear. But seeing as she has been open about her psoriasis, I would hope that there's nothing in here that directly contradicts having psoriasis or being able to use it if you have a psoriasis breakout. So very, very interesting. And again, this is kind of why I am waiting to read all of the ingredients, and you know, my little cash grab red flags are just going off inside of my brain. But the most frustrating thing is that this does not have a sunscreen. Now, I don't know if we're going to expect a sunscreen or not. We know that they take a ton of time to formulate, then we know they take a ton of time to get FDA approval. And when it comes to this line alone, Kim Kardashian claims that they did 23 trials, basically 23 renditions of some of these products just to get the formula just right. And yes, it can take 23 times. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3, especially if you're private labeling. And the fact that they took 23 times really does tell me, okay, this is being done custom. This isn't just white label, slap a name on a product. But sometimes it can take up to 50 or more. And it really depends on what actives you're trying to put into the product, and then if you're actually testing how they penetrate into the skin or not. Because fun fact, did you know that skincare manufacturers and brands don't actually have to test if their product penetrates the skin? If they're not making a medical claim, if it's not an OTC over-the-counter like drug product, they don't even have to show that it's efficacious. They could literally just put crap in a bottle, and as long as it's not like illegal, just slap a label on it and sell it to you. And that is why I'm here to break down the bullshit in the beauty industry. Because I was that 16-year-old who spent $90 every week at Sephora trying to fix my face and just being disappointed and broke. And working at a telemarketing agency, being assaulted by my boss. It was horrible. And if I can help educate others so that they don't make similar mistakes by wasting their money on shit products, that's what I'm here to do. Speaking of shit products, Kylie Skin. If we remember, Kylie Skin basically went in and just tried to rip off all of the other brands out there. They tried to rip off Tatcha with the eye cream. They tried to rip off C'est Moi with their moisturizer. They tried to rip off Supergoop with the sunscreen. And I would like to know, is Kim Kardashian going to create a sunscreen with Skkn? Is that what's going to happen? Because we do need a sunscreen in this line. But back to Joanna Czech, who Kim Kardashian partnered with on this line. Joanna Czech has literally said, you don't need to wear sunscreen indoors. Like, it's not the sun that's going to hurt you. It's literally the air conditioning. Now, there is nuance in everything, and we all have the right to agree to disagree, but holy shit, I just hope this isn't true. This is bad advice, okay? Joanna Czech has revealed her skin aging mistakes in an article, and number 8 is literally not to use sunscreen indoors. And the reasoning is because, and I quote, nobody ever got suntanned sitting at home. And that shows you that the strength of this light is not the same. Go! Go, go, go! This is literally Sun Safety Electromagnetic Spectrum 101. UVA is very different than UVB. Remember, UVA are the aging rays that penetrate deeper and go through windows. UVB are the burning rays that cause burns to the skin and change DNA and can damage it, and those are the ones that burn. Even if you don't burn because you're sitting in front of a window that filters out UVB, you can still get UVA. You can still get skin cancer. I cannot believe that this is just not even science. This is just blatant misinformation. Now, again, Joanna also goes on to say that, you know, it's going to stop vitamin D production if you wear sunscreen indoors. First off, no, it's fucking not. And again, don't take it from me. Take it from the cholesterol and the cholecalciferol and the ergocalciferol and the synthesis of vitamin D that literally happens inside of your body through biochemical actions, and take it from Dr. Dre, who helps to explain this, because no, using sunscreen, even if you use the full amount, it will not stop your body from creating the vitamin D that you need.
This is a common myth. Sunscreen does not block your skin's ability to make vitamin D. This has actually been shown that when people apply sunscreen under maximal use conditions, which newsflash, almost no one ever does. We're talking 2 milligrams per centimeter squared of surface area, a really, really thick layer. At that density, there's no issue with vitamin D synthesis in the skin. You have to remember that vitamin D synthesis in the skin, it's related to UVB, which is actually just a tiny slice of the total ultraviolet radiation package that comes down from the sun to destroy your skin. The rest is UVA, which is what penetrates really deeply and destroys your collagen. Wearing a broad spectrum sunscreen will actually allow enough of the UVB rays to come through to do vitamin D synthesis, while also protecting you from a burn and from death and destruction.
Joanna continues to say, my doctor says that SPF 4 protects you 70%. Oh! Her doctor is right, but that's what makes her so wrong. Yes, SPF 4 might protect you 70%, but did you know that an SPF 30 protects you 93%, 94%? And did you know that an SPF 50 might protect you 94, 95? And even an SPF 100 only protects you like 97%. And consumers get so confused because they're like, what the fuck do these different numbers mean then? I thought I was 30% protected from the sun. Now you're telling me SPF 30 protects me 93%? Yes, and an SPF 4, yes, it probably protects you 70%. But did you know that skin naturally has an SPF of 4? Did you know that black skin, like the darkest, most ebony skin tone, maybe has an SPF of 10 to 13? SPF is literally just how long that product can stay on your skin before you burn, before you have to reapply. And the fact that Joanna is taking this true information that is very confusing from her doctor, but extrapolating that into, I only need an SPF 4, highest SPF 30, I'm not gonna use it, especially not indoors, because I've never burned. This is just such medical misinformation. And this is furthermore what I hate about the luxury beauty industry. This is what I hate about subpar aesthetic education, because we do do have to call it. It is out there. This is what I hate about blogs like Goop and Poosh that try to tell us to avoid toxins in our skincare, but then the people who run the websites literally have advertisements for toxins that they inject into their face in the form of Botox and Dysport. Make it make sense. Again, Joanna Czech is a lovely person. I actually have so much respect for what she does, but there are some very wrong things that she said, as we've all made mistakes. But it's so interesting that this is the person that Kardashian decides to partner with on this. And I really think that some of the skincare ingredients and kind of the philosophies come from Joanna to Kim. Even Joanna has said, don't be afraid of oils. Oils are the best thing since sliced bread. And it's true, like our skin naturally creates different oils like squalene, and oils can be helpful. I love me some good jojoba for $7 at Trader Joe's. But now Kim has like two $80 to $95 facial oils. The synergy here is just so interesting. And I want to know, how is Kim Kardashian different from Joanna Czech's line? And then again, how is Kim Kardashian's line Skkn different from Kylie's Skin? Now, Kylie's Skin ripped off a lot of people, but what's interesting is that Kim Kardashian's new line is run by some of the same people. When you actually look at who is running the brand, you'll see that there are some people who are literally employed at both companies, or who used to work at Kylie's Skin that now work at Skkn, or people who used to work at L'Oreal, people who used to work at Coty or who do work at Coty that now work with Skkn, which yes, is partially owned by Coty. This is a Coty brand. Remember how we've spoken about these big parent companies? And just like real parents who can have kids, these parent companies can have children or adopt children, those children being brands. Pick some of your favorite brands like The Ordinary or La Mer. They're both owned by Estee Lauder. Same parent company. Now the brands are different and their ingredients and philosophies and marketing is different, but they might share research. They might share some of the same supply chains, and some of the same people who run those companies might start jumping positions, especially in a job market like we have today. Coty owns Kylie's Skin, they own Sally Hansen, they own Katy Perry, they own Philosophy, they own CoverGirl, and yes, they own Skkn. So I think there is a lot of crossover with the research, the people who are working on this, and some of the ingredients and even the manufacturing and where they're sourcing things that's happening with Skkn, which makes me again ask, how is this something different? How is this new? How is this revolutionary? This just feels like a cash grab. Their headline on Instagram literally says, a new era of beauty. What does that mean? What does that mean? Our biology is staying the same. Our anatomy is staying the same. New research takes years to do, which is being done. Tell me how, just because the Kardashians shoved some K's into a word, and took some furniture and made it palatable for your bathroom countertop, tell me how that is a revolution in beauty. I don't agree. The one place that I think this could kind of be seen as new or innovative is the sustainability angle. The products are said to be refillable, and apparently the refills cost 15% less. Again, we saw refillable beauty with Fenty Skin, which I think was really, really, really great. The ergonomics of Fenty Skin are wonderful. Basically, the way you open and close them, or the way that you can kind of pop them out and completely refill, beautiful. And I actually really like and respect that Skkn decided to put that in there. Another refillable brand right now is Glow Recipe. They have a refill of their hyaluronic acid moisturizer. The problem is that the refill costs almost as much as the regular product. So the fact that Skkn is 15% less is really nice. And again, is this going to be a clean, green brand? Are they gonna say this is like completely non-toxic? Looking at Poosh, probably, but I can't say for sure until they make that claim. And again, the big concern for me is, are there going to be fragrances? Do the formulations even hold up? Is this going to be like a K-Skin debacle where I see something and I think, wow, maybe there's something in here that actually looks good, and it ends up being a fucking disaster? And how revolutionary is it really if you're ripping off other brands? There's a small but very wonderful brand called Not Wellness, and I don't know if this is an exact carbon copy, but when you look at Kim Kardashian's Skkn Instagram, it looks a lot like what Not Wellness is doing. It looks a lot like what Desi's Skin did. Remember Desi's Skin with her vitamin C? This is very similar, and I'm wondering, what is fucking revolutionary about it? As the New York Times and the commenters said, it looks like her furniture. Like, the skincare literally looks like how she has decorated her house. It's very Kanye. Did Kanye inspire this? Like, what the fuck is going on? Now, the Kardashians have been accused, and I actually believe sued, for stealing other ideas, other ad campaigns, clothing styles, etc., you name it, from other artists, specifically artists of color or artists that do not have the platforms that the Kardashians do. I don't know if those have actually gone to court or if those have been settled, but from the fashion lines to the swimwear lines to the ad campaigns to the photo shoots to all of the products that the Kardashians push, they have really borrowed or been inspired, almost blind inspired by a lot of other artists out there. And when you look at Skkn by Kim, is this just a repeat of the same shit? And then if it is another cash grab, tell me why it's revolutionary. I'm sorry, a cash grab is not revolutionary. Maybe the sustainability, like I'll give them that. And again, ingredients, let me see the ingredient list. Let me see if there's fragrance. Let me see if there's any clinical studies, if there's any tests on skin irritation or penetration. That would help me understand why someone would call this revolutionary. Because right now, this looks like another expensive Kardashian brand that's going to be inflated on the internet. Everyone's gonna talk about it. All of the Carminians are going to go buy it blindly, realize that it irritates their face or just doesn't work, and then the brand is going to be acquired for millions upon millions of dollars. One of the Kardashians is gonna go on the cover of a magazine, and then the brand will disappear. Literally just like KKW Beauty. Like, people are begging Kim to bring back the lip liners and the lipsticks and the fragrance, which literally shut down like a year ago, but instead we got this that nobody fucking asked for. Make it make sense. This just looks like a cash grab to me, and it looks like her sister did it, and she's like, that's not fair, I want one. And I'm just saying this literally as a big sister who would do the exact same thing. Only I wouldn't launch shit products that have the potential of ruining or potentially helping someone's face if I didn't actually know what the fuck was going on inside of skincare products and the electromagnetic spectrum. I will say that some of the people who are working at Kim actually look like they know their shit. Like, if there is one thing the Kardashians do well, it is hiring people. But at the same time, this just feels like another cash grab and another consumer product that is going to just get acquired and, you know, go out of business in a couple of years. And I'm fucking sick of it. It's a cycle, and I see it, and it's happening over and over and over, and I am fucking fed up. Reapply your SPF. Make sure that it is PA+++ for those UVA rays, because fucking science and skin cancer and collagen degradation. Stay hydrated even if it's coffee, and don't spend your hard-earned money on fucking celebrity cash grabs. Thank you, subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video if you want to relive this Kardashian debacle. Love you guys. Bye.